From fun, frilly purses to colorful and trendy jewelry, make your own posh projects using your leftover fabric scraps. Designer Christine McKay is here with just a few fun ideas. The beauty of these projects, you say you don't need a large chunk or a large section of the same fabric. You can mix and match.
You can just use all your little leftover pieces. And you know, the first thing that I thought of when you guys asked me to do the fabric scrap segment is one of my favorite things that my mom and aunt used to do with their fabric scraps is this quilt right here. When we were 13 years old, my aunt would give us 12 quilting squares, and each one of these quilting squares had bits and pieces of fabric from dresses that my mom made for us as we were growing up. I know, isn't that the neatest?
That. Yes.
My mom used to sew all my clothes. In fact, my daughter the other day wanted a really expensive pair of jeans, and I said, "Are you kidding me? My mother made my jeans when I was like in 6th grade."
So did you make hers?
No, we bought them. but you know, the memory behind it. So each one of these were Easter dresses that I had, and then when we got engaged, all the aunts got together and we actually quilted the quilt.
I love that idea.
And just a little FYI, my husband actually gave me my ring and proposed to me underneath the quilting block of this very blanket.
Stop it.
Yes, seriously. So I love the memories.
Yes.
So if any time that you can incorporate your fabric scraps, the things that you've made, or even quilts, it's such a fun, you know, cotton is the fabric of our lives.
Yeah,
it really is. It really is.
A part of you.
So if you're like me and you don't have a lot of fabric scraps because you didn't sew your children's Levi's, I had to go buy some fabric scraps. So I just want to point out that these projects are great if you've got a lot of scraps on hand, or if you're like me and sewing kind of scares you because it's such a commitment. This is such a minimal amount of fabric that it's not overwhelming and that you can do it.
And I've seen packs of scraps that they sell in Walmart. They'll package up some leftover fabric.
And that, like, to me is perfect because it's not overwhelming. You don't have to buy yards of expensive fabric.
Okay.
For instance, this purse right here, I started out, you know, it turned out really fun. My daughter helped me with it. It was just simple. But when I started, I went to the fabric store to find some different things that coordinated. I was having a hard time. Thank heavens there was a girl there. Her name was Jessica, and she helped me. So I started finding things that coordinated, and then look what I found. I found a piece of fabric that already had strips on it.
This is one piece of fabric?
It was one piece of fabric, so I cut my strips from this.
Nice.
So you can either be lazy like me and just cut your strips from one piece of fabric, or you can just use scraps that you have. And let me just walk you through how to make it.
Okay.
What you'll do is you'll take a fabric tote bag that you can get at Joann's, or you can do what I did here, and I made one out of some canvas just with some squares.
Okay.
You'll take the strips that I did, and you can either sew or glue. And I just want to say, people always ask me, what kind of fabric glue do you use? I love the liquid stitch.
People don't ask her if she sews anymore.
No, they know. They're like, what kind of glue do you use?
Fabric stitch?
I use fabric stitch. Okay. And obviously, if it's something that you're going to have a lot of wear and tear, you need to sew it.
Right.
But so you'll just sew just the very top of each strip.
I love the black and white motif.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, that's really
And
classy.
you just work it all the way up. And then when you're done with that,
how did you get the fray?
You'll simply take your scissors and you'll just clip.
I'm getting there, Brooke.
And you don't even need to measure. In fact, I think it's great if you try not to make them match up. So you can just do different lengths, different widths, and as it goes across. And then what I did when I was done, I'll just take this down, is I simply went like this, just back and forth until the ends were kind of frayed, because I wanted it to have that nice worn look.
All right.
And then you can go purchase the little handles at Joann's, and I've figured out a neat little trick, because the handles can be anywhere from like $5 to $12. So if you simply sew the ribbon onto the project, the handle becomes removable, so you can use the same handle on various different handbags. So yeah, so get the most bang for your buck out of that.
Kelsey, your daughter cleaned this in a second.
In a second, are you kidding? Yeah, completely.
I knew that. All right.
So I took the same fabric that I did the handbag out of, and I made this little onesie. And all I did with that is you simply take the strips, and then you'll sew a gathering stitch or a basting stitch, and so you've got something like this, and then you just simply pull one end, and this is about the most sewing trick I know. But you simply, pull one end and it gathers it. It
gathers for you.
And then you'll just pin it across where you want it, and then just sew.
Talk about a darling shower gift. I mean, you get a pack of white onesies and dress them up, and that is a custom gift to give.
And if you don't want the edges to be, some people like it, that frayed look. So if you do that, then you leave it like that. If you don't, you can serge the edges. However, for this, if it's something you're going to be washing, after you've got the desired look that you want, you'll want to put a little fray check on it, and you can buy that at any craft store. It comes in a little bottle, and that will prevent it from fraying anymore.
Okay, really cute, really cute. What's next?
Okay, next, wooden jewelry and covered beads is so fun, and it's really hot right now in the fabric world. It's crossing over from fabric into jewelry. So this is actually one that my daughter made, and I'll put that on right there. And it's just made out of these cute little spools, wooden spools that you can buy at the fabric store that come in just a big bag. And what we did is I antique these first with a little bit of glaze, and then you cover each one with some fabric.
Them first?
Yeah, so I antique these with a little bit of glaze, or you can paint them. And then you simply cover it with a little bit of decoupage and some fabric.
That's cute. You could pile these on.
Isn't that
just
fun?
Mix and match.
And you could also do like wooden beads, circular beads. You could also do the round beads as well. Simply cover it all the way with decoupage, cover it with fabric, and then take a little stylus or a knitting needle and poke it into the ends. And then when it dries, you can thread it all the way.
Clever. Kelsey scored.
You know what? She scored.
She's getting a lot of fun
She scored,
stuff.
and I have to show you the shirt on the end. That was her.
Shirt.
I told her she couldn't wear it until after the segment, and she wore it yesterday to school. But that on the end is just, that is a perfect example of using your fabric scraps. These shirts are so hot right now.
Yes.
And literally, I really did use some scraps that I had lying around for this one. She helped me do it. The same technique that I showed with the baby shirt, with the basting, the pulling and gathering. You know, after you've kind of pulled it all the way and given it kind of that tight look, all you do is you just round it and you can make your flowers. You can go online and find tutorials for flowers. I mean, there are tons of them.
You've done it here with hair clips as well.
You can do hair clips, you can do flowers, you can do ribbon, and with that same technique, just leftover ribbon that you have. So they make great hair bows for little girls. You can just really make a lot of accessories.
Christine, so fun. So don't throw away the leftover fabric
Don't throw away your fabric scraps.
Use them in a cute and fun way. You, of course, want to check out kmckaydesigns.com for step-by-step instructions to all of these projects and, of course, more great inspiration. We've posted a link from our website. Thanks, Christine.
Thanks, Rick.
We'll send it to Darren.